Hey everybody, what's going on? John Glutch here with the Glutch Group, and today I want to talk about an article I just read by Gary Vaynerchuk. You may not know who he is. He's a kind of a social media business building guru. He's got a really strong voice, especially with millennials. And he wrote an article recently talking about how the American dream is in danger, in particular, that buying houses may not be a good idea for millennials. And I'm a millennial, just barely, but I took issue with it. I don't think he's right. More important than what Gary thinks versus what I think, I thought it was interesting the points he made, and so I wanted to use those as kind of a topic for discussion for this particular blog post. And a couple of things he said that really stuck out as interesting to me were, number one is he talked about how it was better to rent a house than it was to buy a house, because you could rent a fancier house, like a more good-looking house, a more impressive house, for the same money that you could buy a house, right? You don't have to have a down payment. In a lot of areas, it's cheaper to rent a more expensive luxury home than it would be to buy one. Like the monthly payments are cheaper. And he said, hey, listen, everybody, this is why people buy luxury cars, is because they want to show off, they want to look good, they want to be impressive. And on that point, I really agree. I think people buy very often things they buy them emotionally, and they justify them with logic and with reason. I think that's really, really true. I think we all do that. So I do think there's a real sense in which he's right, which we're all buying houses to, at some level, impress the people around us. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want people around us to think we're really cool, and now we own this great house. And he was saying, hey, you can't tell the difference. Like if you go over to someone's house for a dinner party, you don't know if they've rented, if they bought that house. And that's kind of true, but at the same time, I agree with his bigger picture point, which is we're buying, or whatever, wherever we're living, it's all about making us feel good and the emotion that is connected to that. He doesn't say it in that language. He talks about peacocking, like kind of showing off, but I'd say the same thing. I just think it does actually matter if we own the house. I think we kind of know inside, like, hey, this is my house. Like there's a sense of accomplishment and a sense of pride that comes with that. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I think it's true. And I think there is a sense in which, like, when people come over to the house you own, you feel good about that. And when they come over to the house you're renting, there's a different feeling associated with that. There's nothing wrong with renting. I'm just saying the idea that kind of people buying homes and renting homes has the same level of sort of emotional feel or show-offness, I just don't think it's true. I think people really do feel good about the house they own, even if it's not as fancy as the one that they could have rented for the same amount of money. So an interesting point there. And I also think that, I don't want to lean into kind of feeding my ego, right? Like his point is like, just spend more money and go rent a place, then it'll be fancier and you'll kind of look cooler. Like, I don't think he's endorsing that idea as much as he's acknowledging that that is the way people think and feel. But I don't want to feed that. Like, I don't want to lean hard into, I'm going to spend more money to rent a place so that I can like bolster my ego and feel even better about it. Like, I recognize it's there, it's a part of who I am, but I'm not trying to build that thing up. So that was one interesting point that I kind of agreed with, but kind of disagreed with his conclusion on. The next one is he talks about student loans and how that's a big deal. And I totally agree with this. Like, the fact that we're borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars, as Dave Ramsey says, to get like a left-handed basket weaving degree is crazy. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. The student loan crisis is a actual crisis. I don't know how we're going to solve it. Somehow we figured out the housing crisis. It wasn't without its painful stuff, but one thing I learned from that was we managed to figure these kind of things out as a nation, but I don't know how we're going to get through this one. And I'm really dedicated to my kids not going to school with any college debt. And I'm very thankful that my parents, my wife's parents, were dedicated to that same thing. And we came into the marriage with no college debt. At the same time, I recognize like not everyone has that benefit, that privilege. And so I think it's important that we work hard to get those things paid off and to fundamentally shift the way we do education. I don't know what the solution there, but I totally agree. I do think that is going to affect the economy and certainly housing as well. The last one's the one that I'm most passionate about and interested in talking about. And he basically says, hey, you would be better if you're entrepreneurial minded, like I am, like he is, to take the money that you would have put in your house, the down payment, and to invest it in your business to help you grow and scale faster in your business. And I think this is the worst idea ever for so many reasons. One is you're taking the money out of something that is unbelievably proven. Like, housing has a remarkably steady track record for being a great investment over time. We sell lots of houses every year, and these are people who, they've inherited the house, or their grandparents have passed away, something like that, and all they had in their name was the house, which was paid for because they paid for their house. They maybe had a car and some clothes, but the vast majority of their net worth was their house. And this is not uncommon. This is very, very normal. Housing is a fantastic investment vehicle over time, and that's just historically a fact. There's no question about it. Also, a fact is that businesses mostly fail. It is unlikely if you start a business for you to succeed at that. Certainly over the long run, the statistics are very, very bad. So what he's saying is, let's take the money out of this historically proven vehicle and put it into something that is most likely going to fail, which to me is just totally ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's not that it won't ever work, but I think if you look at the averages, no one wants to feel like they're average, but we're all more average than we want to admit. This is a bad idea. Do not take the money out of your house to fund and fuel a business. I can speak from experience. During the housing boom, we were buying all these rental houses very rapidly and extracting the money out of it, pulling these equity lines out of these rental properties to go buy more houses, leveraging the heck out of ourselves, and we lost everything. It went totally sideways, and we lost all these houses and all this money. It was a terrible, terrible idea. The fundamentals of putting a big down payment down, making your monthly payments, principal and interest, will always be sound. The second piece of this that I really get fired up about is not every business needs money to grow. In fact, most shouldn't. Like this whole thing, I think maybe we've grown up in a Shark Tank world where like we think every business needs money to get going, and just they may need some cash, but like whatever happened to bootstrapping, which is like you earn the money in your business to help your business grow. You're going to grow slower that way, as opposed to going out and getting investments from your friends and family or whatever. But most businesses should grow slow or fail. And the very few businesses that need money, there's just a small percentage of businesses that need that. You know, like I won't go into the details on specifics, but the vast majority of businesses, they don't need a bunch of startup money. Like go and see if your idea works, and if someone's willing to pay for your idea, use that money to grow the business. That's what we did at the Glutch Group. We've done that with several other businesses. I just do not get this idea that we're going to go out and pull all this money out of our investments to fund our business. That's just such an unlikely to succeed idea, and it's such a rare business in all that needs the money. Grow your business nice and slow, try things out, see what the market says, see if people are willing to pay for what you're offering, and grow it organically, slowly. I think the big picture idea here, my philosophy and what I've learned through some bumps and bruises and lumps, is the slow, steady plodding of let's grow with our business, let's grow with our life, let's not spend too much money on a house, let's not try to show off more than we really have. It's just a better way to live. It's an ancient wisdom. It's, you know, I try to read a chapter of the Proverbs every day, and it's this, hey, you know, money hastily gained is easily lost. There's just over and over these different ways that we see, like, it's just not a great idea to try to get rich quick. It's a better idea to not try to impress as much as possible, not try to impress people, live your life. I love all the Dave Ramsey stuff about housing, like, hey, just put a big down payment down, buy less than you can afford, do a 15-year mortgage if you can. Like, this is just a smart, steady way to grow wealth, and I think it's very short-sighted and narrow advice to think that no, everybody should rent a house, get a fancy house, show off, take that money and fuel your business. Like, that makes a good Hollywood movie, but it doesn't make a great life. So anyways, my thought, my rant on that, you can read the article. It's got a lot more concise, specific details on kind of why I think this and what to do with this. But in general, just wanted to share my ideas on that to get you thinking about how you might be investing your time, energy, and money in your life. And at the Glutch Group, we're obviously always happy to help you grow your wealth with real estate. We really believe in it. We buy lots of real estate ourselves, and we love it. It's been a great and fantastic way to build wealth over time. So hope you have enjoyed my share today, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.